Journey to the Tourney, presented by Symetra. Retirement benefits life. Hey everybody, Seth Davis here for SI.com. The Final Four is set. I don't know about you, but I had all four teams in the Final Four. It was so obvious this was going to be our final quartet. Let me break down that first game for you between South Carolina and Gonzaga. There are a couple of obvious storylines strategically going into this game, but I want to focus on the two units that I think are being overlooked. First of all, South Carolina's offense. Yes, their defense is phenomenal, but they have been playing great defense all season long. This is a team that about early to mid-February went through a very, very bad stretch where they couldn't score the ball, I think because they were getting mentally ground down by their defense-oriented style. But what we've seen in this tournament is that teams that have to play against South Carolina over the course of the 40 minutes, they get mentally worn down. South Carolina's offense, their scoring efficiency is off the charts compared to what they did in the regular season. They are playing both ends of the floor exceptionally well, and their offense is the real reason why they're in the Final Four. Conversely, everybody talks about Gonzaga's offense, but what people don't realize is that the Zags have been ranked for most of the season #1 in the country in overall defensive efficiency, and it's not because of the level of their competition in the West Coast Conference. We've seen what they can do. Gonzaga at all 5 positions, all throughout their lineup, and even off the bench, is a big, physical, strong team, and I think that's going to negate one of South Carolina's biggest advantages, their toughness, their physicality. And once that advantage is declared even, then I think Gonzaga's overall skill and balance, and of course Big Shem in the middle, is going to make the difference. It's been a dream season all season long for Gonzaga, and I say the Zags are going to play on Monday night. So let's break down the nightcap between North Carolina and Oregon. Now, obviously, when you play North Carolina, the #1 thing you have to do is keep the Tar Heels off the offensive glass. I thought Kentucky actually did a pretty good job of that in the regional final, and that's going to be a huge responsibility on Jordan Bell. For a guy who doesn't score a ton of points, Jordan Bell is the most dominant player in the NCAA tournament. He was the captain of my all-glue team. He's going to be really responsible for trying to defend all those North Carolina big men. I could also make the argument that Oregon is going to have the two best offensive players in the game in Dylan Brooks and Tyler Dorsey. Dorsey has been out of this world shooting lights out in the NCAA tournament. It's been a great ride for Oregon, but you know what? North Carolina is in fact the better team at both ends of the floor, and that will be apparent on Saturday night as the Tar Heels will win and advance to the championship game. And finally, my Final Four Rising Star presented by Symetra. There are going to be a lot of big stories at the Final Four. None bigger, none better than Big Shem. Przemek Karnowski, Gonzaga's 7'1", 300-pound center. He's a native of Poland. The story of how he got to Gonzaga, his ultra-electric, powerful beard, which I'm convinced has superpowers, and his story coming back from back surgery. He lost 60 pounds, got himself into shape, wasn't sure he'd ever play again. Przemek Karnowski might not have the most points and rebounds in these games at the Final Four, but he is a truly unique player. You don't find many classic back-to-the-basket centers. I call Przemek Karnowski like the rug in the movie The Big Lebowski. He really ties the room together. His presence down to the post is what makes Gonzaga's half-court offense work. Even if he doesn't get the assist, he gets the hockey assist, because every time you pass it to him in the post, you have to double him. He's great at making passes out of it. The ball moves, and somebody from Gonzaga gets an open shot. I also think he's a great zone buster in the high post, a good rebounder. He's got a nice touch, and let me tell you something, the big fella can run. That means that Gonzaga is capable of beating a team like North Carolina 85-80. It's also capable of beating a team like South Carolina 65-60. I think it's going to be a big weekend for Gonzaga, and Big Shem is going to be the biggest reason why. Journey to the Tourney, presented by Symetra. Retirement benefits life.